Dr. V. Anitha Rani, Associate Professor of Chemistry from Institute of Aeronautical Engineering. So in the previous chapter, we have discussed about natural resources, and we discussed about water resources and land resources, energy resources. And next chapter, we are going to discuss about environmental pollution. In environmental pollution, we have to discuss about air pollution, water pollution, soil pollution, and noise pollution. And today we will discuss about air pollution and water pollution. So in air pollution, so we have to know about causes of air pollution, effects of air pollution, control measures of air pollution. And water pollution, causes of water pollution, and what are the effects of water pollution, and how to control the water pollution. So first of all, what is environmental pollution? So what is environmental pollution means any undesirable change in physical, chemical or biological characteristics of any component of the environment which causes harmful effects on various forms of life or property is called pollution. So any undesirable change in the physical or chemical or biological characteristics of any component of the environment, either we can take that component air, water or soil, and which can cause a harmful effect on various forms of the life of the property, that is called pollution. Means it is affecting what we are changing in the environment, that is affecting, either it is affecting the environment itself, means it is affecting like we are getting air is polluted, water is polluted, soil is polluted, and even organisms they are affecting, the human beings are affecting, and other living organisms also they are affecting. So that is called pollution. That is called pollution. So this contaminant, the contaminant which is leading to environmental pollution, that is called pollutant. The contaminant, the substance which is leading to pollution, the environment, polluting the environment is called pollutant. So here the classification of pollution, we are going to discuss about air pollution, water pollution, soil pollution, noise pollution. So what is air pollution? So it is an atmospheric condition in which certain substances are present in concentrations which can cause undesirable effects on man, and his environment is called air pollution. So it is an atmospheric condition. Means what? Air is polluted. Air is polluted. What is present in the air? In the air, what is present means oxygen, nitrogen. Okay, so these gases are present in the air. So what is happening when undesirable substance is there in the air, undesirable substance in the air or undesirable gases present in the air, that is combined with the oxygen or NO2 like nitrogen, then air is polluted. That is called air is polluted. So it is an atmospheric condition in which certain substances are present in concentrations which can cause undesirable effects on man and his environment is called air pollution. And that contaminant is known as pollutant. That contaminant is known as pollutant. So these substances include gases, particulate matter and radioactive substances. So when we are driving a vehicle, so what is the emission of the gas? CO, carbon monoxide. So this carbon monoxide, so when the concentration of carbon monoxide is increasing in the air, so that leads to the air pollution. That leads to the air pollution. So these pollutants, what is pollutant here? Carbon monoxide is the pollutant. So here pollutants are classified into two categories: primary pollutant, that is called point sources; secondary pollutant, non-point sources. So primary pollutants, we can take primary pollutants that are emitted directly from indefinable sources, means like we can take from both natural events and human activities. So primary pollutants are pollutants that are emitted directly by natural events and human activities. So they are called primary pollutants. So it is a point source point source. So one can see that the pollution source with the naked eye, means we can see the pollution source. So with our eyes, that is called point source. That is called point source. So dust storms and volcanic eruptions and emission from vehicles. Emission we can see with our eyes. We can see the emission from the vehicles and the effluents which are coming out from industries or that are called primary pollutants. Primary pollutants. So primary pollutants are volcanic eruptions, emission from vehicles and industries. Emissions which are coming from out of the industries. So these are called primary pollutants. So we can take the example. The primary pollutants are, we can take carbon monoxide and CO2, SO2, sulfur dioxide, sulfur trioxide, SO3, and N2O, NO, next NO2. All these are examples of the primary pollutants. So all these, how it is coming out, all the substances, how it is coming out, these are coming out from industries, these are coming out from vehicles, and also it is coming out from the volcanic eruptions. So we can look into this diagram. Here primary pollutants are there. So we can see in the diagram CO, CO2, SO2, NO, NO2. These are primary pollutants. From where we are getting these pollutants? We are getting from industries, and we are getting from the vehicles, and we are getting from the volcanic eruptions. So these are called primary pollutants. And secondary pollutants are produced in the atmosphere where certain chemical reactions takes place. Among the primary pollutants. Certain chemical reactions takes place among the primary pollutants are called secondary pollutants. Means what happens here? When primary pollutants are in the air, so there is a chemical reaction takes place between this primary pollutant and the oxygen present in the atmosphere. So that here it is forming a chemical reaction, means chemical substances formed in the air. So that is also leading to the pollution, air pollution. So we can take here the air pollutants, the secondary air pollutants. For example, we can take sulfuric acid, H2SO4, nitric acid, HNO3, carbonic acid, H2CO3. All these are called secondary pollutants. So how these are formed here? HNO3 and H2SO4. So sulfur reacting with the hydrogen present in the atmosphere. So nitrogen, here NO2 or NO3, it is reacting with the hydrogen present in the atmosphere. So it is reacting with the, here these gases which is evolved from the industries, that is reacting with here the gases present in the atmosphere, and here it is leading to the secondary pollutants. So due to the presence of these secondary pollutants also, it leads to the air pollution. So it is called a non-point source. One cannot see the pollution source here with a naked eye, because we don't know, because we can see directly the emission which is coming out from the vehicles, carbon monoxide, but forming H2SO4, sulfur dioxide, we cannot see, because here itself in the atmosphere, in the atmospheric conditions itself, here it is reacting, the sulfur reacting with the hydrogen and forming a sulfuric acid. So we cannot see that. The chemical reaction we cannot see in the air. So it is called non-point source. Point source we can see, but non-point source we cannot see. So it is formed after a single reactions, okay, that is happening in the atmosphere. So we can see the example in the diagram here. We can look into the diagram here. We can see the nitric acid and H2SO4, and here it is forming carbonic acid. All these are called secondary pollutants. So in the diagram we can see clearly from volcanic eruptions. So from vehicles, the primary pollutants are coming out from volcanic eruptions. Here we can see. And here we can see from industries. So all these are called primary pollutants which are coming out from industries as well as from vehicles and some volcanic eruptions also. And here secondary pollutants are formed by the primary pollutants when they are reacting in the air in the presence of other gases. So here we can see in this diagram, so the human being is affected from both naturally occurring here air pollution, that is from natural pollutants, the human beings are affected, and also from manufactured, means from industries, means we can take like some gases are evolving from industries that is reacting in the presence of air and leading to the secondary pollutants. And here the human being is affected both by natural wise and also manufactured. And here, what are the causes of air pollution and what are the sources of air pollution? So, the sources of air pollution, it is natural and man-made. Natural and man-made. So, the natural sources of air pollution are volcanic eruptions. We can see in the diagram volcanic eruptions, and here forest fires and salt sprays, biological decay, and photochemical oxidation of terpenes and marshes and extraterrestrial bodies, and pollen grains of flowers. We can see pollen grains of flowers in the diagram. Pollen grains of flowers and forest fires. Forest fires, and here we can see volcanic eruptions. Volcanic eruptions and forest fires and pollen grains of flowers. All these are leading to the air pollution, but from natural sources. And man-made sources are here we can take thermal power plants, industrial units, and vehicular emissions, and fossil fuel burning, agricultural activities. So the air is polluted by agricultural activities, and also we can take here from industrial emissions, and also from vehicles. So all these are man-made activities where it is leading to the air pollution. So thermal power plants have become the major source for generation of electricity in India, as the nuclear power plants could not be installed here plant. Okay, so here majorly the pollutants emitted are fly ash and SO2. Fly ash and SO2. So here by the presence of this SO2 in the atmosphere and fly ash in the atmosphere, so it is leading to the air pollution. So what are the here we can take natural sources are volcanic eruptions. Natural sources are we can take volcanic eruptions, and here forest fires, pollen grains of flowers, and salt sprays, biological decay, and here man-made sources are vehicular emissions, agricultural activities, and some here the emissions which are coming out from the industries. So we discussed now natural sources and man-made sources, and what are the examples are there here that is leading to that are the sources of air pollution. So what are the effects of air pollution? Here the effects of air pollution, that is majorly it is affecting the living organisms. It is affecting the living organisms, human beings and other living organisms. So on human beings, our respiratory system has a number of mechanisms that help in protecting us from air pollution. So the hair in our nose filters out large particles, and here we can protect here because of the pollutants are more present in the air, but anyway we are protecting ourselves because the hair in our nose that is filtering the large particles. So when pollutants irritates the upper respiratory system, sneezing and coughing expel the contaminated air and mucus. Prolonged smoking or exposure to air pollutants can overload or break down these natural defenses, causing or contributing to diseases such as lung cancer, asthma, chronic bronchitis, and emphysema. So here, when the people are smoking, so they will get lung cancer. So they are exposing to the the people are exposing to the air pollutants and they're getting the lung cancer and they're getting asthma and they're affecting by different diseases like chronic bronchitis. So here elderly people, infants, pregnant women, and people with heart disease and asthma patients or other respiratory diseases are especially, so they are they are affecting by the more by the exposing to the air pollution, exposing to the air pollution. So we can see, look into this diagram, we can observe so how people are affecting from air pollution. So we can take the example here, we can see a small boy, so he is affected by the air pollution, and pregnant women and other people, those are suffering from heart diseases, they are affecting from air pollution. And it is very dangerous here, the people who are smoking, okay, cigarette smoking, so that is responsible for the great exposure to the carbon monoxide, exposure to the carbon monoxide. So exposure to air containing 0.001 percentage of carbon monoxide for several hours can cause collapse, coma, and even death. So the people who are smoking, so for them it is very difficult, so they are collapsing and they are going into the coma, okay, and they are even leading to the death of the people. So as carbon monoxide remains attached to hemoglobin in blood for a long time, it accumulates and reduces oxygen carrying capacity of blood. So when our carbon monoxide entering into our blood, okay, so it reduces the oxygen carrying capacity of blood, So that is leading to the death of the human beings. So this impairs perception and thinking. So that slows reflex and causes headache, drowsiness, dizziness, and nausea. So the people are suffering by air pollution, and the people who are cigarette smoking, so they are suffering from headache, drowsiness, and dizziness. So carbon monoxide is heavy traffic causes headache, drowsiness, and blurred vision. So the people who are exposed to the carbon monoxide, from where we are getting carbon monoxide? We are getting from vehicular emissions. Okay, so the here the what we are getting gas, okay, from the vehicles, the gas coming out of from the vehicles, so that is carbon monoxide. So when we are exposed to that carbon monoxide, so that is leading to the effect of human beings. The human beings are getting headache, drowsiness, and blurred vision. And the sulfur dioxide, so that is also which is present in the atmosphere, so that irritates the respiratory tissues. So chronic exposure causes a condition similar to bronchitis. So people are affecting, that is leading to the disease here, bronchitis. So it also reacts with water, oxygen, and other material in the air to form here sulfur containing acids. So it is forming sulfur containing acids when it is reacting with the water and oxygen present in the here when moisture conditions are there, so it reacts with the water and oxygen present in the air and forming a sulfur containing acids, and people are exposing to this atmosphere, and here they are getting the respiratory problems. So the acids can become attached to the particles, so which when inhaled are very corrosive to the lung. So they are affecting here, they are getting cough, they are getting headache. So they are affecting here the respiratory system is, so that is affecting, they are getting lung diseases. So nitrogen oxides, especially NO2, can irritate the lungs. So what we are discussing, SO2 present in the atmosphere, if you are breathing that, we are breathing that air, okay, so bad air, okay, so that because of that our lung is affected. And also nitrogen oxide, especially NO2, can irritate the lungs. If NO2 is present, the concentration of NO2 is more present in the atmosphere. If you are breathing that air, then also it is irritating the lungs, means our lungs are affected. It is leading to asthma, it is leading to chronic bronchitis, and here we are getting the infections here, and we are getting the cold, but the people who are weak, so immediately, so they are getting the lung infection. And suspended particles which are present in the air, so if you are breathing that air, and here it is leading to asthma. So exposure to these particles over a long period, damages lung tissue and contributes to the development of chronic respiratory disease, and it is leading to the cancer. So we should not expose to the here the air that is present suspended particles in the air, or any gases like SO2, NO2 that is present in the air. So it is slowly leading to the formation of the lung cancer. So these are the causes, or the effect of air pollution on human beings. And what we are getting commonly what we are getting here means, we are getting coughing, and we are getting sometimes chest pain also, breathlessness. So we cannot breathe easily, because what we are breathing the air is, we are not breathing a clean air, we are breathing the air that is presence of the suspended particles in the air with the gases, impure gases like SO2, NO2. And it is irritating our eyes also, it is irritating our eyes, it is irritating our nose, and it is irritating our throat. So what we are getting, throat infection, and we are getting here lung diseases, and our vision is loss of the vision is taking place. All these effects are there when we are exposing to the air pollution, So here we can take, for example, we are taking air pollution effects on human body. So brain, eyes, throat. So these are affected. Brain, eyes, throat. So these are affected here because of the air pollution. And majorly what it is affecting because of air pollution on human beings, lungs. Okay. What we are getting? We are getting chronic diseases, lung cancer and asthma. And what else it is affected? Liver also it is affected. And the people who are suffering from heart diseases, so they are also even they are suffering from the lung infection. So skin. So when we are exposed to the acid rains. So acid rain, how it comes? When air is polluted with SO2, when the rain comes, so we get acid rain. So when our skin is exposed to the atmosphere, acid rain, our skin will be affected. So all these effects we are getting because of the air pollution on plants. So till now we know what are the effects are there for the human beings, and what are the effects are there for the plants. So when some gaseous pollutants enter leaf pores, they damage the leaves of the crop plants. So here chronic exposure of the leaves to the air pollutants can break down the waxy coating that helps prevent excessive here water loss, and leads to the damage from diseases, pests, droughts and frost. So here we can see in this diagram, so the green leaf, it is turning into yellow. The green leaf, it is turning into black. So here when these plants are exposed to the air pollutants that is present in air, so here we can see the plant growth also, it won't be there much. Okay, so growth of the plant, and here reduces nutrient uptake and can cause leaves that is turning into yellow color, and it is slowly turning into brown color, and here finally it drops off. All these effects are there for plants also because of the air is polluted. So we can see in this diagram also that here we can see that turning the leaves, green leaves into yellow color, and it is turning into black color. So the pollutants here, what we discussed here, the damage of the leaf structure, that we can see here, necrosis. So necrosis means dead area of leaf, or epinasty. Epinasty means downward curling of a leaf. So we can see in the diagram. So the leaf that is curling, curling, okay. And abscission. Abscission means dropping of leaf. Finally, what happens? Dropping of the leaf is taking place. So at higher concentration of sulfur dioxide, majority of the flower buds become stiff and hard. So when SO2 is there in the atmosphere, what is happening? The flower buds, it is becoming very stiff and hard. So this eventually fall from the plants. So it won't stay on the plant. The flower bud, it is falling. As they are unable to flower. So the flower bud, we are not getting flower, it is falling down. So previously what we discussed, the leaves are turning into yellow, that is turning into black, then it is dropping down, okay. And now what is affecting due to sulfur dioxide? Now plant, here the flower bud is affecting. The flower bud, it is becoming hard. So they are unable to flower. And they also drop down. So prolonged exposure to high levels of several air pollutants like SO2, NO2, or any suspended particles present in the here in the air. So that is leading to the here that is polluting the plants also, means affecting the plants. So damaging the plants, damaging the trees, and here we can see leaves, it is dropping down, and flower buds also, it is dropping down. Finally, what happens? We cannot save the plants also. And we discussed now effect of air pollution on human beings, effect of air pollution on plants. Now effect of air pollution on aquatic life. So burning of fossil fuels creates carbon dioxide and nitrogen oxide and sulfur oxide, and we are getting some particulate matter. So air pollutants like carbon dioxide, it mixes up with the rainwater and absorbing in the ocean water cause high acidity. Means low pH. So when acidity is increasing in the water, so there is it is affecting the aquatic life. It is affecting the fish. It is affecting the phytoplankton, zooplankton, and fish. Whatever here the living organisms present in the here we can see take river and seas, that is affecting here by the pollutants which are present in the air. And when the rain comes, so all the pollutants it is going along with water, it is going into the sea or rivers. And over the last 250 years, oceans have absorbed 530 billion tons of carbon dioxide, and here it is increasing day by day. It is increasing 30%, increasing ocean acidity. So higher seawater acidity hurts marine life, especially we have taken example like we have taken fishes and other organisms like phytoplankton and zooplankton. So all these effects are there for the aquatic life because of the more air pollution, more pollutants present in the atmosphere. On materials, we can take the example Taj Mahal. So here slowly we can see that here the material, the Taj Mahal, because of the acid rains, so that is turning into yellow. Okay, so the slabs that is turning into yellow. So every year air pollutants cause damage, so worth billions of rupees. So air pollutants break down exterior paint on cars and houses. All around the world, air pollutants have discolored and we can take the color of the Taj Mahal is changing. Okay, we can see in the picture itself, we can see slowly it is turning from white color to the yellow color. So world wonder Taj Mahal is turning brownish yellow due to the air pollution. So now we discussed how the effect of air pollution on human beings, on plants, on aquatic life, on materials. For example, Taj Mahal is affecting now. Okay, so now how to prevent and how to control the air pollution. How to control the air pollution? So how to control the air pollution means first we have to do afforestation. Afforestation means we have to plant the, we have to we have to go for planting. We have to go for planting. Okay. So every day, not every day. So once in a year, at least if we plant twice or thrice any plants nearby our area. Okay. So if you are planting, if you are having that habit planting, so we can save, we can control the air pollution. Okay. So adopting eco-friendly technologies for the prevention of air pollutants, afforestation helps in controlling the air pollution. So we have to plant, we have to go for planting, we have to take the plants. So keep planting trees, so we can hit the air pollution, we can hit the air pollution. So thermal power station and other coal energy based industries should use low sulfur coal, okay. So coal, when we are using the coal for when to heat the water, okay. So when water is heated, that produces steam, we are using that steam to generate the electricity. So when we are choosing the coal, it should contain low sulfur content. It should contain low sulfur content. So industries have to see that they have to use the coal with low sulfur content, so that we can decrease here we can prevent the air pollution. So desulfurization techniques should be used to remove the coal, to remove the sulfur present in the coal, so that we can avoid here we can prevent the air pollution. And gases pollutant should be controlled at source itself by using physical absorption on porous solid materials such as charcoal, silica gel. See, from the industries, the emissions are coming out. Okay. So before that, in industries itself, we have to keep the absorbing materials. So we have to arrange the charcoal, we have to arrange the silica gel. So what is the particulate matter coming out of from the industries? So this charcoal will absorb that particulate matter, and the silica gel absorb that particulate matter, and so that the air cannot be polluted. So gaseous pollutants should be controlled at a source itself, at the industries itself, by using physical absorption on porous solid materials such as charcoal, silica gel. And incomplete combustion of fossil fuels produce more carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide, hydrocarbons, particulate matter. So what we have to do? We have to go for complete combustion of the fuels. If the complete combustion of the fuels is taking place, so there won't be emission of the carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide. So we have to see that. So there should not be incomplete combustion of incomplete combustion of the fuels. And particulate matter should be bring into control at source itself. Already we discussed that, what we have to use. So we can go for methods like cyclone separators, very good method, cyclone separators, backhouse filters, and wet scrubbers, and electrostatic precipitator methods. From all these methods, so we can avoid particulate matter that is entering into the air. Means into the atmospheric conditions, we can control or we can prevent the air pollution by following this method. So we can see in this diagram here how to prevent control. We can see that from the vehicles, there should be what we are using the fuel, there should be complete combustion of the fuel should be taken place, so that we can avoid air pollution and we can prevent air pollution. So we have to go for nearby distances, we can use the bicycle, and we have to use the electric vehicles, that should be come out electric vehicles, and we have to use in industries catalytic converters. So this is about air pollution. We discussed causes of air pollution, and what are the effects of the air pollution, and how to control the air pollution. So next is water pollution. So water pollution can be defined as alteration in physical, chemical, and biological characteristics of water, making it unsuitable for designated use in its natural state, or any contaminant which cause adverse change in the water quality is called water pollution. Means any contaminants. Means, for example, in the diagram we can see we are throwing the plastic in the water, we are throwing the here organic waste, the food waste, okay, directly they are throwing in the food waste in the water. All these are contaminants. So any contaminant which causes adverse change in the water quality is called water pollution. Water pollution. So when the water is polluted, so we know that when that water is taking living organisms, either human beings or other living organisms, so they are affected by that water. So hydrosphere in the universe contains water in the form of oceans, we know, rivers, lakes, tanks, and many other water sources. So water sources in the world are of two types, we have to know. So that is, one is marine water bodies and freshwater bodies. So water is a good solvent for many substances. Because of this property, water cannot exist in its pure form as many parts of the world. Means what? So when we are taking any substance in the water, easily it dissolves. Water is having that property. The substances can dissolve in the water. So water is having that property. So water is becoming polluted. Easily it is becoming any contaminants that here present in the water. So the dissolving of that contaminants will be taking place in water. That leads to the water pollution. So water pollution is mainly because of sewage, okay, and industrial disposals effluents. Industrial disposal effluents. Okay, so it is mainly because of the sewage. Okay, so the waste which is going out from the here what we are doing activities, which the wastewater which is going from houses into the river, the wastewater which is going out from the houses to the water bodies, and also industrial disposal effluents. Means the wastewater which is going out from industries into the river. So that the river is polluted, the ocean is polluted. That is called water pollution. So sources of water are two types here: point sources, non-point sources. So point sources, we can take point sources means industries, wastewater coming out of industries, wastewater coming out of from power plants, and sewage treatment plants, coal mines, oil wells, oil tankers. All these are point sources. Point sources. So industries, power plants, sewage treatment plants, coal mines, oil wells, and oil tankers are point sources. Non-point sources are surface runoff from agricultural fields. Agricultural fields means when the rain comes, so the water from the agricultural field, so that water is entering from that agricultural field into the river. So what is present in that agricultural field? So we are using for the growth of the crops, we are using pesticides, fungicides. So when we are using that pesticides, fertilizers, so that are chemicals. What we are using the chemicals for the growth of the plants. So that chemicals with the rainwater, it is coming and it is entering into the river. It is entering into the river and polluting the river water. So here we can see that non-point sources, mainly the surface runoff from agricultural field. So it is difficult to control water pollution by non-point sources. We cannot stop. Okay, so it is difficult to control water pollution by non-point sources because of the high cost and difficulty in identifying and treating the pollutants from diffused sources. So we can control the water pollution by point sources, but from non-point sources, that it is difficult to control. So in the diagram we can see point sources and non-point sources. We can see in the diagram. So point sources means we are getting from the houses, we are getting the sewage, wastewater. From the industries, factories, we are getting the wastewater. So that is from the here that animal feedlots. Okay, so from so we are taking different examples. Industries and how from the houses and sewage water, it is entering into the water bodies. And non-point sources means we know already from the agricultural fields, farms, and here we are taking construction sites, and because of overgrazed land. So from that areas also here the water is polluted. So pollutants we know now, sewage, mainly from sewage, wastewater coming out from industries, from houses. So emptying the drains and sewers in fresh bodies causes water pollution. Industrial waste, toxic chemicals, acids, alkalis, heavy metals, phenols, ammonia, and radioactive substances. So all these toxic chemicals, so these are entering into the, from the industrial waste, it is entering into the water. And synthetic detergents cause water pollution. Fertilizers and pesticides washed by rainwater and surface runoff polluting the air, water, and waste heat, oil spillage in seawater. When the oil is that is when the oil spill is taking place in seawater, the seawater is polluted. And groundwater is polluted here, groundwater pollution with arsenic, fluoride and nitrate. With arsenic, fluoride and nitrate. So with these chemicals present in the here under the underground, okay, so groundwater also polluted. So these are water pollutants. So water pollutants, in the diagram we can see sewage and domestic waste, industrial effluents, soap and detergents, fertilizers, pesticides and heavy metals. And what are the effects of water pollution? What are the effects of water pollution? So oxygen demanding waste, oxygen demanding waste. Organic matter which reaches water bodies is decomposed by microorganisms present in water, So for this degradation of oxygen, oxygen dissolved in water is consumed. So what happened when organic matter, it reaches the water bodies, means we are throwing the waste, in the water, okay. So because when we are throwing the waste in the water, so this leads to water pollution. So nothing but, so the microorganisms in water, so that is decomposed, okay, decomposing organic matter. And here what is main cause? Degradation, oxygen dissolved, means dissolved oxygen, that levels will be decreasing. So when DO levels, dissolved oxygen levels are decreasing in the water, that is affecting whom it is affecting? It is affecting the aquatic life. It is affecting the fish. So the saturation value of DO, dissolved oxygen, varies from 8 to 15 milligram per liter. 8 to 15 milligram per liter for active fish species. 5 to 8 milligram per liter of DO is required, whereas less desirable species like a crab, and we can take here that can survive, the DO level should be 3.0. So if this DO level in the water, in the river or ocean, if it is not there 5 to 8 milligram per liter, so what is here? The death of the fish will be taking place. Okay, all other organisms in the water will be dead. Okay, so the DO level, how it is decreasing? When we are throwing the waste in the water, so here that waste is the microorganisms present in the water, that is decomposing the organic waste. So when it is decomposing the organic waste, the DO level is decreasing in the dissolved oxygen level, it is decreasing in water. So when the dissolved oxygen level decreasing in the water, so the here that will be affecting the aquatic life, that is affecting the fish and other organisms. So lower DO may be harmful to animals, especially fish population. Oxygen depletion helps in release of phosphates from bottom sediments and cause eutrophication. So this is also we can see a major effect, eutrophication, okay, because of the oxygen depletion. So that helps in release of phosphates from bottom sediments, from bottom of the ocean, from bottom sediments, and it is causing the eutrophication. So we can see in the diagram how the fish is affecting by the here water pollution, and we are drinking the water, impure water we are drinking, and we can see in the diagram how the people are the skin is affected by water pollution also. Okay, when we are drinking the impure water. And nitrogen and phosphorus compounds, and nitrogen and phosphorus helps in the growth of the algae and other plants which when die and decay consume oxygen of water. Okay, so nitrogen and phosphorus help in the growth of the algae. So from where nitrogen and phosphorus are coming into the water means from agricultural field. So we use pesticides. So pesticides contain nitrogen and phosphorus. So when we are using pesticides for the growth of the plants, so this nitrogen and phosphorus, when it is entering into the water bodies, when it is entering into the river water, so that is helps in the growth of the algae in water and other plants present in the water. So when the algae dies in the water, okay, and other plants, when it is the decay of plant is taking place, then here it is consuming oxygen of water, nothing but decreasing the DO level in the water. So under anaerobic conditions, foul smelling gases are produced. Means in the absence of oxygen, when oxygen level is decreasing, what happens? So we are getting foul smelling, water, we are getting a bad smell. We are getting a bad smell. And pathogens, sewage contain many pathogenic, disease causing and non-pathogenic microorganisms and many viruses. So what wastewater, when it is flowing out of industries and out of the houses, so that water, that sewage or any food waste, so that is containing, here what it is containing pathogenic microorganisms and many viruses. So waterborne diseases like cholera, typhoid, jaundice. So we are getting cholera, typhoid and jaundice because of mainly the water is affected. The water is polluted. So how this water is polluted? Because of mainly by the sewage, wastewater and food waste. Because of this only the water is polluted, and when we are taking that water and we are getting cholera and typhoid and jaundice. And people are here suffering. They are getting vomitings, typhoid, and we can see in the diagram kidney damage, nerve disorders. All these are effects are there because of the we are taking the impure water. The people are affected. And substances like pesticides, methyl mercury move into the bodies of organisms from the medium in which these organisms live. Substances like DDT are not water soluble and have affinity for body lipids, and these substances tend to accumulate in the organism's body, that is fish body. So this process is called bioaccumulation. So the pesticides, the chemicals, it is like a cycle. It is coming from agricultural field into the river. In the river, the fish, it will take that substances, that chemicals. When the fish eat the plants or other organisms, so that chemical substance enter into the fish. When we are eating that fish, that chemical substance, that toxic substance coming into our body. So it is like a cycle. So that is called bioaccumulation. So the concentration of these toxic substances build up at successive levels of food chain. At successive levels of food chain means from agricultural field, it is coming into river. From the river, fish is eating that, means fish is taking that chemical substance. That chemical substance, it is coming into our body because we are eating the fish. So that is called here successive levels of food chain. From one organism to the another organism, the chemical substance is transferring. So this process is called biomagnifications. So we can see the DDT concentration here. In birds it will be 10, and needlefish 1.0, minnows 0.1, and zooplankton 0.01, and water it is 0.000001. So we are taking in ppm. And some heavy metals like lead, mercury and cadmium cause various types of diseases. Here mercury, cadmium, lead. These are heavy metals. So when these are present in the water, so that is leading to the diseases for the human beings. So mercury dumped into water is transformed into water soluble methyl mercury by bacterial action. So methyl mercury accumulates in fish. Okay, methyl mercury that is taken by the fish accumulates in the fish. So in 1953, people in Japan suffered from numbness numbness of body parts, vision and hearing problems, and abnormal mental behavior. So this disease is called Minamata disease. Minamata disease. This disease is called Minamata disease. The people are suffering from numbness of body parts and vision loss and hearing problems because of they have eaten a fish. So that is, fish is containing methyl mercury. Methyl mercury. How methyl mercury in water? Because of the heavy metals which are in water like lead, mercury and cadmium. Because of this mercury, so that is dumped into water. So that mercury is taken by the fish. That fish is eaten by the people of Japan. The people of Japan suffered by disease, Minamata disease. Minamata disease is nothing but the people here they are suffered like a numbness of body parts, vision loss and hearing problems. And here, because of mainly consumption of this methyl mercury contaminated fish, so that is caught from Minamata Bay in Japan. So the place Minamata Bay. So from that area, the people have collected that they have taken fish. So the fish is affected by methyl mercury. Okay, so that people have eaten that and they got the disease, Minamata disease. So in the diagram, we can see how this people are affected by the Minamata disease. So the disease claimed 50 lives and permanently paralyzed over 700 persons. So they are getting paralysis also because of this disease. So the pollution by another heavy metal, cadmium. So one metal is mercury. So then cadmium. Okay, cadmium in water. Caused disease is ithai disease in the Japan itself. So this disease was caused by cadmium contaminated rice. Cadmium contaminated rice means when we are using fertilizers, pesticides in the agricultural field for the growth of the here paddy field, rice field. So that rice is that rice is contaminated with cadmium. So when the people are taking that rice, when they are eating that rice, they got ithai disease. So that is also happened in Japan. So we can see in the diagram. So how this boy is completely he is bending because of the ithai disease. So he got problems like bones. Brittleness of the bones and some nerve disorders. So the rice fields were irrigated with effluents of zinc smelters and drainage water from mines. And in this disease, bones, liver, kidneys, lungs, pancreas, and thyroid are affected. From ithai disease, bones, liver, kidneys, lungs, pancreas, and thyroid are affected because mainly the people are eating contaminated rice, and also with the effluents of zinc smelters and drainage water from the mines. The people are taking using drainage water for the growth of the crops. So nitrate when present in excess in drinking water cause blue baby syndrome, or that is called methemoglobinemia. Okay, so here we can take here in the baby turning into blue color because here the baby is containing more nitrate, excess of nitrate. When we are drinking excess of nitrate present in the drinking water, so that is causing the blue baby syndrome. Okay, so after birth of the boy or baby, so the baby it is turning into blue color. So the disease develops when the part of the hemoglobin is converted into non-functional oxidized form. So nitrate in the stomach partly gets changed into nitrites, which can produce cancer-causing products in the stomach. So excess of fluoride in drinking water cause defects in teeth and bones, causes fluorosis. So we can take Nalgonda area where people are drinking water with more percentage of the fluoride, more percentage of the fluoride, and they are suffering from the here defect in teeth and bones, that is called fluorosis. fluoresces. So blue baby syndrome, that is the baby is affecting because of the nitrate when present in excess of nitrate in drinking water. Okay, if the ladies who are carrying pregnant women, they are drinking that drinking water with the nitrates, so the birth of the baby, so they are getting blue baby syndrome. Slowly it is leading to the death of the baby. So all these are effects are there because of the water pollution, and how to control the water pollution. How to control the water pollution? First of all, what we have to do? We should not use the organic chemicals. We should not use the pesticides. We should not use the fertilizers for the growth of the crops, for the growth of the plants. Okay, so we have to use organic. Here we have to use manure. We have to use natural manure. We have to use so that we can control the water pollution. So the agrochemicals like pesticides and fertilizers, which will reduce their surface runoff and leaching. Okay, avoid use of these fertilizers and pesticides, and use of nitrogen fixing plants to supplement the use of fertilizers. So instead of fertilizers, we can use nitrogen fixing plants. So we can see here nitrogen fixing plant. Okay, nitrogen fixing plant we have to use instead of fertilizers. And adopting integrated pest management to reduce here we can reduce the pesticides. And prevent runoff manure. Okay, divert such runoff to basin for settlement. So the nutrient rich water can be used as a fertilizer in the field. So separate drainage of sewage and rainwater should be provided to prevent overflow of sewage with rainwater. Means from our houses, when the wastewater is coming out, okay, so we have to arrange separately. So separate pipes should be there. So separate drainage for the sewage and for the rainwater flowing. So we can control the water pollution. So planting trees would reduce pollution by sediments and will also prevent here soil erosion. So we can go for planting trees also. And mainly we have to use here organic manure. We should not use pesticides or fertilizers. And sewage water, so we have to separate drainage. We have to maintain. We have to pass the wastewater separately into the other areas. Okay, not water bodies. So we can see in the diagram the municipal separate storm sewer system and combined sewer system. Okay, it is in the diagram we can observe where here in municipal separate storm sewer system they have taken separately. They have arranged the water coming out. Okay, the rainwater when it is flowing here from underground, so they have arranged pipes separately. Pipes separately, and wastewater treatment plant is arranged here. Okay, so the wastewater, it is coming out from the buildings, from the houses. It is collected here in wastewater treatment plant, and treated wastewater, it is coming into the water bodies. And directly the rainwater, it is here we have arranged pipe in the underground. So that is directly it is going into the water bodies. And here the wastewater which is coming out of the houses, it is going directly to the wastewater treatment plant where wastewater is treated here, and that treated wastewater, it is coming into the water bodies. Nothing but it is coming into the river or seas. So this is municipal separate storm sewer system, this one. And combined sewer system, where here combined sewer system means the wastewater coming out of the houses, and here the surface runoff water, the rainwater, surface runoff water, all it is collected from only one pipe arranged. So that water is directly it is going into the water bodies, and it is going into the wastewater treatment plant. So it is combined arrangement is there. So collecting the wastewater from the houses and also from the surface runoff water. So we have to separate. Then we can control. So compared to the combined sewer system, municipal separate storm sewer system is better now. So we have to follow that system to prevent water pollution. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.